Hello, good morning everybody. I'm Pingo from Move Into Joy, and this is my channel for sparkling. So I call it Sparkle TV. I share all sorts of somatic movement practices, somatic dance, creativity, energy tips to help us move into states of more sparkling flow and to undo deep patterns of tension or freezy business in our system. So today, lesson 2 of follow and flow with your nervous system. And today I like to touch upon some of the principles all living systems, and we are a living system, like a whole being, a living system, use to grow, thrive, to flourish and to heal and to find stability. And our nervous system definitely follows more of these principles than our often so mechanical view of thinking about body separated from mind. So one of those important principles that really touched me is living systems only embrace that form of change that they have been co-creating, meaning that we should work together with our system. And so often we force our body to do certain things. We go into some forms of emotional processes where we really go over threshold for our nervous system, and we're sort of bouncing up and down to our highs and our lows. And our nervous system isn't used to work like that. It needs this soft, gentle wave in which it has all the time, all the capacity to process what's going on and find its stability with ease, dynamic ease. Doesn't mean that we can never be like highly emotional or highly physical or all that sort of things. Yes, we can, but we need to feel where the boundaries are for our nervous system, the threshold, so it can still deal with it and it doesn't go into a shutdown. It doesn't go into really survival responses like fight and flight and then poof, and we are sort of so overwhelmed that we shut down. And so often that happens when we don't follow and flow with our nervous system, when we push ourselves too hard, when we don't respect our boundaries. So today we will continue with the lesson of yesterday, a functional integration, as it is called in the Feldenkrais method. I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner amongst other practices I offer and that I'm certified for. So functional integration means that we integrate body, mind, emotions with our nervous system, and that we have this wholesome functioning for the nervous system where it can feel that it is in contact and integrated. We were playing with shifting our weight as we were standing to feel what was the most easy, most supporting leg to stand on. And then we combined that with turning around, seeing the environment, and we sort of tapped into what is the strategy. And let's just go over it so you can experiential feel what we did yesterday, very short. So please go and stand somewhere in your space and sense your contact with the floor. Put for one moment your hand on your heart and your hara. Close your eyes. Your hara is your lower belly, just below the belly button. Close your eyes and just feel your breath. And just sort of slowly feel how you give weight to the floor, just so you can come back to yourself. Mornings can be pretty busy and evenings as well if you are looking from another place in the world. And then start to shift your weight to one leg and just you might feel like it's either right or left leg, and then just observe, is there any place in your body that changes its focus and turns a little bit? maybe your pelvis, your chest, your head. Maybe there's some twisting happening in the spine, very small. And just observe in which direction that goes. Does it go in the direction that you are moving, or does it go in the opposite direction? And then let's make that a little bigger. Let's start to shift the weight again, but now really deliberately use your eyes to scan your environment, to look around to see what's behind you. And there's two strategies here. We either turn towards the leg that we are going to stand on, or we turn in the opposite direction. And we all have strategies. That is the patterns. And when these patterns get repeated over time and always repeated no matter the situation, they become habits. And some of these habits might be dysfunctional in some situations. The habit in itself is not dysfunctional, but when it shows up and in which situation, that determines whether it's helpful or not. So when you turn around, just observe whether you were turning towards the leg that you were moving to, or to the opposite leg, and with how much of yourself were you turning. So how is your head, your chest, your pelvis following, and maybe even there's movement lower in the ankle joints, the feet. And I'm going a bit fast to this little part. This was lesson 1. And so play with these two options. Whether you turn towards the leg to see behind, or whether you turn the other way. And just notify, even so small, how does it make you feel when you turn in the one direction or the other? In which direction do you feel more confident on your leg? Do you sense like maybe more tall, or more small maybe, or more small and confident? We use our body, we can expand and release, contract. That depends on how we go from expansion, from tall to small. So just sense, is your small more a contraction or a release? And that is something you can ask your breath. And so there is no any movement that isn't fueled by emotion. And often the emotions in the background, the very small ones that just keep on moving, or maybe are stuck in some of our cell tissue, these are the ones that are really causing habits to become very dysfunctional in certain situations where we need ourselves to be more supporting, more steady on our own legs, or where we need to feel centered in ourselves. And when we feel like, oh, I don't feel so secure, I feel a bit uncertain about myself, or maybe even fearful. So just follow as you look around and you see behind, turning towards the leg that you're moving your weight on, still the leg that was the first choice of your body. How does that make you feel emotionally? And then as you turn to the other one, how did that feel? As you turn the other side, I mean. My mind was already flipping to the next exploration. Sorry. And so now we looked at a pattern where our body chooses one leg to be more certain and chooses one direction to feel more certain. And then there's the other leg. How do we go along with this pattern on the other side? Maybe we have a different strategy there. So now very slowly move to the other leg and just sense, where are you looking? Are you looking in the direction of the leg to see behind you, or are you looking in the direction where you came from to see behind? And just notify, how does that make you feel on this side? Where do you feel tall? Where do you feel small? Where do you feel confident, supported by your legs? And where do you feel maybe like, oof, I'm not so certain where I am in space. But for now, keep in mind this first choice of your body, that first leg. And I invite you to come and lay down now. I sent it out yesterday that you need a mat or something, but I hope you had. Sorry. So, if you have, please lie down and take a moment as you lie down to feel your contact with the floor. Is there a difference on your right side and left side? Do the two sides feel different in the floor, on the ground? And also sense whether one side feels shorter or taller. And for a moment, note, can you feel where exactly does it feel taller or smaller? Is it in between the ribs? Is it in between the shoulder and the hips? Or is it your leg maybe, or your ear, your shoulder? Where do you feel smaller or taller? And then bend your legs, please. And now let's go to the side that feels taller, bigger. And on that side, you start to push your foot in the floor to lift your hip. And then as you're gonna lie down your hip, can you lie it a little closer to your foot? Walking your hip closer and closer to your foot. Every time you lift it, you help it to come closer to your foot. And observe your breath in the background. Are you following your in breath or your out breath? And lie your hip back on the floor. When it's closer to the feet. And we actually creating more asymmetrical position in our body. We are going to make this pattern even stronger. So don't worry, we're going to be alright after that. This is a typical functional integration tool to follow with the pattern of our nervous system rather than the symptom, and to really enlarge it in every way. You start optimizing it. That will be the lesson tomorrow. So just lift your hip once more and see if you can bring it maybe in a comfortable way, a little closer to your foot. And then lay it down and sense your breath. How does this feel for your nervous system, for your body? We always choose where we can find the comfort and pleasure. So you don't want to go any further than that you can enjoy, that your body almost shows you mouth-watering sensations. So that means you can just do it very small. It can be a millimeter and it can even be in your imagination. You can visualize it. Your nervous system already gets like attuned to that pattern, like, oh, I sense something happen, even if it's in our imagination. It's really a wonderful, magical place to be in your nervous system. So leave your hip where it is now, a little closer to your foot. And start lifting the other hip, the hip of the shorter side, and bring that hip a little closer to that shoulder. So you're still making the difference bigger and bigger. Very small. And again, follow your breath. And just observe, is it on the in-breath or out-breath that you lift your hip and that you sink it to the floor? Look for the moments of rest. Every time when your hip lands, take a moment to feel how your nervous system perceives this position, this movement, how it's things happening with the places that breathe in your body. How is your contact with the floor changing? And then maybe lift it one more time. And put your hip just a little closer to your shoulder. So now we have like this huge difference. So how does it feel to be asymmetric? I mean, we learned that we always have to be symmetric, but actually hardly any one of us is symmetric. So how does it feel to be asymmetric? Just take a moment to notice what it does with your feelings, with your mind. Is there all sorts of voices now waking up like, hey, no, we have to level this, you know? Because our mind often sort of tries to struggle with our nervous system. It tries to tell it, no, you should do this, you should do that, this is better, this is what I learned. So to really follow our own wise, our body wise, our nervous system wise, our systems wise, might just be a little funny in the beginning and maybe even a bit fearful. So any of these sensations, just acknowledge them and say hello to them and say, yes, this is the little discussions going on inside. So lengthen your legs for a moment and sense how you're lying on the floor now. Just sense what this feels like. How you contact the floor from your heel, your leg, your hip, the lower back, the upper back and ribs, the shoulder blades, and the sides of your head. And even the face, you might just feel little differences. You can also feel how your nervous system now starts to level for itself in a way it wants to find a different way. So what happens when we flow with our nervous system, when we follow up with what it effort that our nervous system wants to make. And when it feels like it's happening already, it's stopping its protection mechanisms and it stops its defense. It lets go. And then it can find a new way to map itself in the environment. Inner environment and outer environment. Our inner environment, emotions, sensations, all our visceral happening, our chemical happening, our biology, our mind, also images, all our energy fields communicating, the chakra system. It's all inner environment. And then the outer environment is all the sensuous life around you, nature, other people, everything that sends out the vibration of life. But also objects. Objects also hold a certain vibration. Everything is energy. So the nervous system is always in communication with everything. That's a lot of work. And you can imagine that's just not a simple pattern. This is a very complex pattern, weaving together biology, soul, our mind, our conscious, our environment, and all these layers in this. So, today was a very small taste of how we follow. Now please, let's one more bend the legs. And start again on the side that feels taller. And start lifting your hip. Bring it closer to your foot. And then lift the other hip bring it closer to your shoulder. And then we alternate. While one hip is walking to the foot, the tall side, the other hip from the shorter side is walking to the shoulder. Bam, bam, like walking. They are sort of separating, like in a tango, the law of attraction, pushing and pulling away from each other. And just sense, are they both having the same range of movement, or does one feel like, well, this is enough, and the other says, oh no, I can walk endlessly? And just see if you can find some symphony in between them. The amount of walking staying a little bit the same. So they stay connected even though they are stepping away from each other. And just sense the ease in breathing in the background is leading you. Can you enjoy actually the asymmetrical movement? Have fun with it. And you can walk it back and walk it forth, back and forth, and just sense how easy can it become to just play in this pattern like it's just fun, you know, like children exploring something around them like it's new. Oh wow. Okay, and then let go of it. Last time, lengthen your legs. Take a moment to feel how your body now contacts the floor, the tall side and the small side. Do both sides feel more comfortable in their small and tall? It becomes like a tool, right? So, when you're ready, please roll to one of your sides and bring yourself to sitting with help of your hands and the weight of your hips. And then come to standing. And then, as you stand, let's just go back to this first exploration. As you shift your weight to the tall side and you look around, has something changed? Maybe the direction in which you now, in first impulse, wants to look. Or maybe the ease or the sensation of being tall or small. Or maybe the sensation of confidence. Maybe there has been a little shift in the emotional background. Feeling less awkward with the tall or small emotionally. And our system just disattached all these components from each other. The stories that we stick on certain states. So as you look, can you also look the other side? And in the end, what we like is that it is both easy and both feels comfortable, and that one side doesn't make us feel more scared than the other way to do it. Because in both, it's like treasures to see a situation. And you might note that in one direction, it's like you're turning, and as you grow tall, it's almost like you're gonna make a pirouette. And in the other direction, it might just be more around your own center. So another thing I like to ask you now is, in which direction do you feel most ready to move? Meaning that as you turn and you see something and you want to go to it, which direction makes it most easy to follow that impulse? And then, if you like, you can later also, or maybe do now, just shift your weight to your other leg, play with the same question. You're asking questions to a nervous system, and just see which direction, looking in the direction of where you go or against it, is feeling more tall, and where do you feel more small? And how is it with the emotional ballet in the background? Has there been a little shift? Is there less, how to say, black and white there? Is it more like both can feel very comfortable? And also sense whether here it was the same as what you did on the start of the lesson, because sometimes things have changed and we all of a sudden have a different strategy. Now the last thing I want to ask you is, for this lesson, if you turn to this new leg, which side feels like? And often when we engage the eyes and we really get like excited, ways of moving towards the leg or against. In one option there is more I want to stay on the distance and look at it, and the other is maybe more about, yes, I want to go there and see and touch what I saw. Two ways of engaging with our environment that are both very valuable, very important for our nervous system. So, with these thoughts I like to leave you for this lesson. Tomorrow we will go and co-create with our nervous system and to see how this pattern can be so juicy, so great, that our nervous system says, okay, this is my piece of art, let's go for the next thing. Alright, for today I wish you a lot of joy this day or this night if you are in your night now. Have a great sleep. Bye bye!